Welcome back to Modern Homestead, Alaska. And this month's Azure Haul, I have some super exciting things to share with you. From Azure reaching out, something happened. I got something in my order. I'm just super excited about today's video. So won't you join me after this intro? Welcome to our vlog. We are the Milnes family. We started building a modern homestead outside of Missoula, Alaska in the summer of 2021. That's my husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom. Our second son, Caleb, lives here with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our two dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto. I have to come over here. I know it's an Azure Haul video, but this is what I'm super excited about. I'm actually so excited about it that my neighbor who's not excited about it sent me one of those GIFs that said, "I blame you." I literally love the snow, and we finally have enough snow and enough freezing temperatures that it could be here to stay until spring. So our lake is frozen over. The boys have walked out on it. There's several inches of snow now. We're gonna be able to just get everything kind of packed down and scrape from there. But I wanted to show you, and I'm letting all this cold air in, but look. Literally peace and quiet out there. Okay, you can't be in Alaska if you don't love the snow. But let's get into the Azure Haul. All right, let's just get into the haul because I have two more exciting things that I wanted to share with you. From a contact, I got directly contacted from Azure, and I want to share that with you and some clarification on shipping when we get to the end of the video. I know I confused some people, and some people weren't really understanding what I was talking about and how things truly are different here in Alaska, and I got that information directly from Azure. So I got a smaller haul this month as far as quantity. It wasn't necessarily one of my cheapest Azure hauls, and I'm gonna get into that in a second and show you why. The first section is, before I placed this order, I was down in the basement. I told you I just kind of go through the buckets and I make sure that everything is full. Of course, the goal around here is to try and build a year's storage of food that we're rotating through. So I have a rotating pantry. I don't stock things that we don't eat on a regular basis. So it's okay for me to keep buying beans, peas, lentils, those sort of things, because we do go through them on a regular basis. I'm not looking to build this little bunny trail. I'm not looking to build a pantry where I just have beans and rice and things like that, and they're stored away and they're stuck in my basement, and 30 years down the road, we then have to figure out what to do with them. For me, I think putting my money into a rotating pantry, but having a year's worth of storage is the best way of doing it. And Azure is such a big help to that for my family here in Alaska especially. So when I went through, now we're on to back on point. When I went through those buckets, I looked at what we were low on. The last time I bought beans and peas, I couldn't get green split peas. I could only get the yellow ones. And I'm really low on green because green split pea soup is one of the main staples throughout winter. We even eat it in the summertime for our family. So we got one 25-pound bag of green peas this time. One of you reached out to me about red beans and not kidney beans. So this is it. This is what I get from Azure. I'm gonna show it to you because this is exactly someone's question. I get the small red beans. Do I know for a fact if these are the right beans for red beans and rice? I don't actually know that for a fact. What I do know is they work great, and because I'm not in that part of the country where that's a normal part of our diet. Whatever red beans and rice I might make, my family's going to enjoy. But if you know what beans she is specifically looking for an authentic red beans and rice, would you leave that in the comment section? That would really help that viewer out. And then the last bag of beans I got are the navy beans. Our favorite, one of the Campbell's canned soups we do is bean and bacon. That's one of the only soups. Split pea, tomato, chicken noodle, and bean and bacon are the only canned soups that our family eats. And I read kind of a dupe for it, and it is supposed to be navy beans are the right bean for a dupe for that. So we're going to experiment. So I wanted to pick up a little more navy bean, and I only had ever gotten probably 25 pounds of it before. So we were low on navy beans to begin with. So that's the bean section and what we have going on in the pantry. Let me move you to the next. All right, I'm just gonna move the items closer instead of trying to reposition and set up the camera over and over. I hope you don't mind. So what this is 15 more of the 2-gallon buckets that I use in my pantry and 15 more of the lids. We have decided that this is working so much better upstairs for me than the 5-gallon buckets. They're just too much for me to handle. And then certain items, I wanted larger quantities than a 1/2 gallon. If you've never seen my pantry, I'll try and link an Azure video where I actually did a pantry tour, and you can see directly how I use these 2-gallon buckets. What I need these for is all of those grains that we have been trying to experiment with. I was out of ways, if I open the bags, of how to store them. The other thing was trying to find a way in the pantry where I could easily access the grains, use the grinder that's in there, and make myself different cereals and breads and so on. So this is not one of the cheapest investments, honestly, and I kind of waited on it probably a little too long because I could have been doing more experimenting by now had I just bit the bullet and gotten some buckets. I really struggle getting buckets up here, and when I can get the buckets, I can't get the lids, and when I can get the lids, I can't get the buckets, and so on. It's all a big vicious cycle, if you will. But with Azure, I could get 15 more buckets with the lids, because that's another thing, believe it or not. I did get a bucket from our local, like, Alaskan grocery store, and the Azure lids didn't fit on it. So it could have been me, it could have been the brand. I don't know what the case is. So I went ahead and got these. I'm gonna wash these up because they just get shipped like this. So I do wash and completely dry them before, and then we'll be able to move on and do some more grain grinding and videos like that, and I will have a beautiful way of storing all the different grains in the pantry, easy access for me. So I do highly recommend, if you have any issues like arthritis or mobility, if you're trying to do bulk storage, the 2-gallon buckets might actually be better for you than the 5-gallon if you struggle to move them around like I do. So that's my whole spiel on the buckets. You will see me put these to use in the next one. All right, so on the back of the table, and I've moved one of them over so you can see I actually got Azure's 25 pounds. Einkorn, I got 2 of those. This is working out to be a winning grain for us. I know that it's very popular on other channels. A lot of people are using it, and now I know why. It really is delicious, and Azure had been out of it because, keep in mind, what's that old saying? Money doesn't grow on trees. Well, certain things grow on trees, but there's a season to the grains, and right now Azure has Einkorn in stock, in season. This is ready to get shipped out, so I went ahead and got 2 bags of it because this was the one I was struggling with, and we were having to order it off of Amazon in smaller quantities, so on. Anyway, problem solved. I was able to get 2 25-pound bags of the whole Einkorn that I'll grind myself. We'll be making some beautiful sourdough on the regular weekly basis for our family with this. Now, one of the 2 giant excitement things is right over here, let me tell you. So I'm gonna step back here in hopes that you can actually see what's in front of me. And the reason is they are really heavy for me to pick up. This was something that I had directly spoke with Azure about, and they thanked me. They were so kind. They thanked me for reminding you guys when their factory burnt down, honey was in that factory. So we have struggled to get honey. Well, that's not just Azure's deal. Honey, as well as the Einkorn and everything else, has a season and where they're sourcing it from and all of those things. And so I had just continued to put honey on my orders, thinking at some point it's going to show up. Well, what I did to end up pushing myself over budget a little bit was I went ahead and put honey again on the order. I ordered larger quantities than I've ever ordered in honey before because, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm looking to do a year of storage. So I had decided, you know what, this month through Costco and Azure and everything, I would work on sugars or different sweeteners. Can I build a year's storage of that? And I got some regular sugar and some brown sugar and some stuff like that at Costco. And then I saw this sugar on the Elliott Homestead, and she was using it. And what it is the natural succulent, S-U-C-A-N-A-T. I think that's how you succulent. Here I am, not able to pronounce words again. This always happens to me. So anyway, I had watched, and what this is they take the sugar cane and they extract the juice, so the sugar from it, and then through the heating process, they get these granules, and it is not separated between the molasses and the white sugar, but it's not brown sugar, it's granules like white sugar is, and it is supposed to be amazing, superb, top of the line, best sugar. And I'm always looking for something that is really natural, really organic, and really delicious to add into the baking and cooking that we do. So I went with this. This was going to be the option for sugar this month. It was not cheap for the 50-pound bag. I'll include the price right here, blinking across me. So it wasn't cheap for the 50-pound bag. And so that was supposed to be the order. That was my budget. That was my total. Like I said, I always put honey on there in hopes of getting it. And when I spoke to Azure, there wasn't some, we'll guarantee you, you're special, whatever, you get honey. It wasn't. They're trying to get honey to everyone. And there was no guarantee, but I went ahead and put a couple of different honeys on there and thought, if I get it, it's a year worth. It'll affect what I can spend like at Costco or someplace else, but I would rather have it than not have it, so I would run that budget risk. So I did run a budget risk, and I got both of the honeys. So we just took some stuff off in other places. So I ended up with the 60 pounds. That's what's in this 5-gallon bucket, is 60 pounds of the orange blossom honey. And then the other one that we went ahead and got was this, and this is 24 pounds of the clover honey from Azure. So I am set. I am super set on sugars and honeys. I am now super set on grains, beans, lentils, peas. I have buckets, And so you're gonna have to stay tuned to see what we come up with, what areas we venture out in with Azure and other places in the upcoming months. How are we gonna round out our pantry? So I invite you right now, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. When you ring the bell, you get notifications. So you won't miss whatever we end up rounding our pantry out with through Azure, Costco, shopping hauls in the future. Now, let me clarify and help you to understand shipping as I now understand it. All right, let's do some clarification on the shipping with Azure. So I was right in my brain, wrong in my verbiage in the way that I described it to you. So I am sorry about that. So I'm gonna leave Azure's exact verbiage with their permission in the description box. You'll be able to read it for yourself. Certain states, I was totally correct. In Arizona, I didn't pay shipping. My mom doesn't pay shipping in Nevada. All of that is true and correct. So not everyone pays shipping with Azure. At a certain line, and you'll be able to kind of read it, map it out and see it, you do begin paying the 8 whatever % shipping with them. All right, when I go to pick up my order, I take cash, and I know from a breakdown what I'm going to owe to my host. When my host picks up our order in Anchorage and brings it all the way out here to us, she pays the barge company additional fees to have it brought here to Alaska. So that money doesn't go at the end of my bill towards Azure. I don't pay it at the time that I place my order. I pay an additional shipping charge to the company, the barge company, when I pick up my order. So on top of the bill, what Azure charged plus the shipping, I paid on this order alone an additional $126 in fuel charges from the company. And then our amazing host goes and does all of it for free. She drives all the way to Anchorage, she brings it here. So she is definitely on my Christmas list. So that's not her charging, that's the barge company. So if you are in Hawaii or Alaska, things are a little bit different for us because we are not part of the continental United States. There's a lot of things up here that we simply can't get. I know people say go to Amazon or do this or whatever, and a lot of times if you look at something you're trying to order, it will say doesn't ship to Alaska, or it'll say continental United States, those sort of things. They don't actually always send it here. So there's a lot of things we truly cannot get up here unless we find like a friend or family that would go and get it, take it to the post office, mail it to us, so on and so forth. A lot of things don't ship to us. So I hope that clarifies. Not everyone pays shipping. If you're in that lower 48, you are going to pay a specific percentage just like everyone else. It's fair across the board. But if you are in Hawaii or Alaska, you are paying a different company aside from Azure an additional charge. Now that I've said all of that, as always, thank you for being here. I'm so excited to share these things with you, our life and the different things that we are doing on our Alaska homestead, the pantry that we're managing to build. I'm starting to feel like some confidence, and it's been a lot, and I'm just so blessed every single time that you guys are willing to tune in, see what I did, what I got, and how we're building this pantry. I'm so blessed to have you. So thank you for being here today. If I have introduced you to this company and you are interested in placing your first order, would you do me a favor? Go to the description box. I have a link, and it just takes you, and you use my name. It's Jessica Milnes and the number 1, and it walks you through all of that. And what happens is when you place your first order of $100 or more, my family gets $25, and that is helping me place these orders and do these videos and so on. When you do that, you're gonna be given your own code as well that you can share it with friends and family, and you too would get the exact same amount of money. Azure's not paying me, even though they reached out, we had a conversation, they thanked me for my video and they thought it was lovely and they were so kind. I'm not getting paid to do videos. This isn't a sponsored video, and anyone you see doing videos for them, they're not sponsored either. However, when you share the company, you just get that bonus, those points. So anytime I'm the first, if I'm your first, use my code, and it is so appreciated. So with that, I do hope that you find something to be thankful for, that you are super blessed. And I'm gonna close with what was at the top of my Azure order. If you actually read the top of a PDF version of your Azure receipt, it says, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." 3 John 1:2. Well, that's what I leave you with today. That is also my prayer for you, my beloved, my friends, and those who have joined me for this video. Thank you again. Be blessed. I'll catch you in the next video. Azure does have an affiliate influencer program that you could look further into. It is very minimal, and they are not a paid sponsor for this video or any of my Azure videos.